Hey, what's going on, everybody? St. R. Edwards back with the Ski Channel, Swift Coding for everyone. In this lesson, we're going to continue on in the Apple Pie project, and what we're going to do here is we're going to extract the button's title, and we're also going to figure out the guest letters situation. And so we're going to update some of our functions that we have here in our view controller file, and we're even going to create a new function as well. All right, so starting off, let's talk about our button pressed function, or button, or function, or button, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, so all that our button press function is doing is when the button is tapped, whatever letter is being tapped, once we run the app, is disabling that button from being pressed again. All right, and so we want to do more than that. We want to actually read the button's title, or we want to see if that letter that is being tapped is in the word that is being guessed. All right, and the way we do that is we have to tap into the UI buttons or the sender's title property, and this was a big reason why I told you guys in the very beginning in the first video to change it change the sender from any to UI button. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new constant called letter string, and in this string we're gonna store the title property. So we're going to say sender.title for UI control state, and that's the method we want to use, this first one right here. All right, so we're going to hit enter, and we're going to type dot normal, and after the closing parentheses we're going to type an exclamation point. And the reason why we want to do that is because not all of the UI buttons have the title property, but this one does, because it's a letter, something that that's able to be read. And so we're just telling Xcode, hey, we know that it's going to be there. It's optional, and so we're just saying that hey, we know that you're trying to keep us safe, but we know that it's going to be there. So allow us to use what we need to use, and it is what it is. And so we'll get more to that in a later lesson, but just make sure you use the exclamation point. All right, cool. Now what we want to do is we want to take the letter string and we want to convert that into a character. So what we're going to do is we'll create another constant called letter, and we'll just say character. What did I just do? Character. And we'll do an open in parentheses, and we'll say letter string, and we want to do the dot lowercase because we want the letter to be, or the character to be lowercase, so we'll say dot lowercase. And we'll use that method, and then that's that for that one. That's that for that one for now. So there is a warning that pops up, but we can ignore that for now. And let's talk about our character, or our game struct. So currently our game struct isn't really doing much, so it's just keeping up with the word, and it's keeping up with the incorrect moves remaining. But what we want to do is we want to store each letter that is tapped by the user once the app is running. We want to store that in an array just to kind of keep up with it, keep up with the game state. That's part of the game state. And we also want to create a function that can, decrease the number of apples on the tree if the letter is wrong. All right, if the letter does not belong in the word that's being guessed. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply create a new variable array called guessed letters. And we're going to do our colon, and then we're going to say this is of type character. This is a character array. All right, and so this is going to make us update our function that we have. Let me go back to this. So I'm going to go back and I'll hit Command S to save this game struct and go back to the view controller file. We're going to have to update the current game instance right now because it's missing a parameter, it's missing an argument right now. So if you were to try and run your app right now, if you do Command R, it's going to tell you that the build is going to fail because there's a missing argument. If you don't believe me, just do it. Go ahead and do it. So we're going to go Command R, and as you can see, it says build failed because it's missing an argument. So we're going to hit the red octagon, and it's saying that we can fix it. So we'll let Xcode fix it. And you can hit enter on the character array right now, and then just do the opening and closing blocks, curly brackets, I should say, for that array. We'll leave it like that for now. All right, and as I said before, we need to update our game struct to basically be able to mutate what the player has guessed, the letter that the player has guessed, and if needed, if the word is wrong, then we want to decrease the number of apples that are shown on the tree. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to say mutating func, and we're going to call it player guessed, and then we're going to have a parameter, say letter, and then it's going to be of type character. All right, and so we want to update, or we want to add what the player has guessed, the letter that the player has guessed, into our guessed letters array. So we're going to do this. So we're going to say guessed letters dot append, and the new element is simply the letter. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to say if the letter is not a part of the word. So we're going to use the not operator by using the exclamation mark, the exclamation point before the word or variable up here that we have. And then we're going to say dot contains. So if it doesn't contain the letter, we're going to do the open and curly brace and hit enter. Then we want to decrement the incorrect moves remaining. So all we're going to do is say incorrect moves remaining. We're going to say minus equal 1. All right, simple as that. So we're going to save this by doing Command S. And back in our view controller file, down here at the bottom where it says button pressed, all we got to do now is hit enter to create another line under the letter constant that we created in button pressed. And we're going to say current game dot, and we'll say player guessed letter. It's the constant that we just created. All right. And so now when we build and run our app, so my first word is Chewy's. So I'm going to purposely choose another letter that is outside of these 5 letters to see if that works. And so we can go ahead and build and run our apps, and you can do the same for your situation. My app is up. I'm going to choose a random letter. I'm going to go M. So what I'm going to do now is, the next thing we need to do is we need to update the UI. So after we added our current game.players guess letter, we update the UI again, okay? And so now we can build and run our app. And so for me, my first word is Chewy's. So I'm gonna select a letter that is not inside of that is not part of these 5 letters, that doesn't spell Chewy's, just to see if everything worked out properly. So again, make sure you update the UI underneath the last line in your button press after you added all of this code. And we are going to build and run our app. I'm going to go Command R, and let's see if this works. All right, so I'm going to select the G because that is not in Chewy's. And look at that, we're missing an apple. A B, cool. Let me do an H. The H is in there, and as you can see, there's no apples missing. All right, but also nothing updated down here, and we'll get to that in a later lesson. Stay tuned for more of the Ski channel, Swift Coding for Everyone. This is St. R. Edwards checking out. You guys take care.